The first of the 6 cards that has Divine Skill was revealed some time ago, and lo and behold, it's going to be one of the old units from the old era that is going to be a retrained version of Welstra. And yeah, the Divine Skill does not disappoint. It's really good. This video is sponsored by Phoenix Pharos Cards. If you need supplies of singles or splits for Cardfight Vanguard, especially the ones in the video, do check out Phoenix Pharos Cards today, and as a bonus, use the promo code MetaNerd to get an amazing 5% discount. And with that being said, let's get on with the video. Greetings YouTube, welcome back to the MetaNerd channel. I am Marcus, bringing you another video for Cardfight Vanguard Divine Z. In this video, we'll be going through the new Rideline, or I should say the new retrained Rideline for Welstra. I mean, Welstra has the same units for the whole Rideline. It's just renamed as well as, you know, reintroduce their skills to basically better fit the whole Rideline, as well as going into the energy cost skills, all except the starter. The starter remains the same. This new Welstra is better, but it's only because of the fact that most of the cards that was introduced inside this video is pseudo restricted to this new Welstra. Without further ado, let's take a look at what the new Welstra brings to the table and what are the latest products that his company is bringing to the table. Before we even touch on Welstra's support as far as all the Ridelines, we have the generic cycle card that each nation will have. Bullet of Creation Pansmermia. Auto when this unit is put in Garden Circle from hand or discarded from hand while riding from the right deck, cost Counterblast 1 or Energy Blast 3 and draw a card. Second skill, auto when this unit is placed on Regular Circle, if your personal road this turn, cost Counterblast 1 or Energy Blast 3, search your deck for up to 1 grade 3 or greater unit card with a different card name from your Vanguard, or up to 1 set order, reveal it and put it into your hand and shuffle your deck. If you reveal a card, choose a card from your hand and discard it. So, like all the other cycle cards that we get inside DZBT01, it's going to be very nice to have the first skill of each of the cycle card within your deck. Once again, the flexibility of counterblasting 1 or energy blasting true while you are guarding with this card or discard it to ride from the right deck is just very nice. The main thing that is differentiating this card from each and every other nation is of course going to be the second skill. If your personal road, you are able to either Counterblast 1 or Energy Blast 3 to search out a grade 3 or greater. That is of course a different card name from your Vanguard, or you know, you can search the set order, which is the whole mechanic of Brandt. You're able to search any of these cards from the deck to help out your deck to have a better game plan, as well as, you know, consistency. You are required to discard a card from your hand if of course you search for a card, but I think it's not going to be a problem because it's better you discard a card to get something for your consistency than, you know, bricking with not many cards to play on your turn. The most notable Rideline within Brandt that will definitely want to run this card is of course going to be Eva as well as Vanguard, because those two cards do have grade 3s that is quite significant for their game plan. I mean, for Eva, it's going to be the grade 3 upskill die. It's a very good card. It's also an attacker as well as a shield unit. For Vanguard is without a doubt going to be the best one, because Vanguard needs the personal right to have a confirmed activation of the restanding skill, and Vanguard do needs the Vanguard Richer to basically rewrite into that grade 3 for a triple Vanguard swing. So these two decks are going to be really crazy with the addition of this card, but any other deck within Brandt that has any important grade 3s is gonna really like this card. Overall, a really good card as compared to the Dark States one. Yeah, this card is miles ahead of Dark States cycle card. It's very sad, but then again, I'm really happy for Brandt. Moving on to the actual support for Welstra, we have Blitz Best Programmer Strazer. Auto when this unit is rolled upon by Blitz Head's Researcher Uber, cost Soul Blast 1, search your deck for up to 1 product card with grade less than or equal to your opponent's Vanguard, reveal it and put it into your hand and shuffle the deck. It's basically like any other grade 1 Rideline within Brandt. It's a typical products Rideline searcher. It's not that much of a difference, with the exception of that added Soul Blast 1 as a cost, because normally the grade 1s for Brandt doesn't really have a cost. You basically just ride into the grade 1 or being ridden upon, you directly search for that specific set order card. But this card does have a Soul Blast 1 at the benefit of being able to choose depends on what the opponent grade is at. If the opponent is at grade 1, you can only choose a product card that is a grade 1. If the opponent is grade 2, you are able to choose a grade 2 product order card, which is super nice flexibility there, and hence why it's quite justifiable to have a Soul Blast 1 as a cost. Going first and second is going to dictate what product card you will be getting, because it basically opens up an option if you are going second, because the opponent will be at grade 2. If you are going first, then the opponent will be at grade 1, and hence you can only choose like grade 1's product order. The product order card that you may potentially want to get is I think going to be these two cards, but then again, these two cards doesn't really do a whole lot judging from what the grade 2 does already for this deck at the moment. The better product cards that you might want to get is these two cards rather than the other two friendship maximum-ish product cards. So the grade 1 doggo is just really nice. If you are operating him, he's just becoming a 10k attacker or booster. It's very nice, and I think it's probably the best one because whenever this card is being discarded or put to drop zone from the order zone, you are able to put this into the soul, which this deck is kind of hungry for, the soul, because a lot of their stuff are soul blasting 2 per activation. So it's a very nice card. And of course, the grade 2 is basically self-explanatory. You are able to draw a card as well as soul charge one. Like I said, this deck is really soul hungry, so the soul charge is very nice, although it is kind of random, so it is what it is. But the main selling point of this card is going to be the second skill. The flexibility of you either operating this card on the main phase to check the top 5 to superior call something is very nice, and if you do operate this card on the battle phase, you are able to draw 1, which is a super nice card. Not only is it providing soul resources for the whole deck, you are able to kind of have a flexibility of gaining hand advantage or, you know, build the board for a really good offensive turn. It's a really good card. But of course, these two cards are just a possible option. You might want to go back and get the original grade 1 and grade 2 product order card to basically set up the board, but it's basically comes down to how your deck runs. I'm not really that experienced with Welstra to give a really straight answer, but with experience playing the deck, I'm pretty sure you have an understanding on what card to go for. Depends on what kind of scenario you're in. That's basically true for each and every deck out there. Pretty good grade 1, and already this is only a grade 1, and we start to see like a lot of synergy between the existing cards. For the grade 2, we have Blitz Hit Researcher Uber. Auto Vanguard Circle. When this unit attacks a Vanguard, cost Energy Blast 3, choose a product from your order zone and operate it. Second skill auto. When this unit is rolled upon by a unit with Welstra in its card name with Divine skill, if your order zone has a product, cost Soul Blast 1 and discard a card from your hand. Search your deck for up to 2 product cards with different card names on each other and from cards in your order zone. Reveal them and put them into your hand and shuffle the deck. You may search for only 1 too. So the main difference between this card as well as the OG version of Uber is that the OG version of Uber has the same first skill. It's just Soul Blast 1 instead of Energy Blast 3. So by moving away from Soul Blasting to activate the operate skill is very nice, but then again, the Soul Blast 1 is basically just transferred over to the grade 1, so it's basically whatever. It's basically just remove something and put it on top of something else. Your overall resource usage still remains the same with the added of Energy Blast 3. You are able to search out 2 different products upon riding into Welstra is very nice. This opens up the option for you to set up your order zone. This basically just opens up the option to put those 2 different order product cards from your hand into the order zone by Welstra's Divine skill, because as you guys already know, what the Divine skill for Welstra is doing is basically just directly set those product set orders to the order zone. And not only that, you are able to filter out 2 non-triggers from the deck to the hand. Is just an absolute good thing, I would say. Of course, like I mentioned before, choices will differ depending on how your hand or order zone looks like. It's more than likely you have either the doggo grade 1 in your order zone or a grade 2 or the other grade 2's product order card, which I forgot what the name is, in the order zone. So you have the choice of getting Friendship Maximum or the new grade 3 product order card that we will talk about later to the hand, and you can just directly set it by using Welstra Divine skill. Pretty neat grade 2. Next is the big man himself, Faded One of the Guiding Star, Welstra Blitz Arm. Auto Vanguard Circle. When this unit attacks a Vanguard, cost Energy Blast 2, choose a product from your order zone, operate it, and this unit gets 10k power until the end of that battle. Second skill, Divine Skill. Active Vanguard Circle, cost Counter Blast 1, choose up to 2 product cards with different card names from your hand and put them into the order zone. If you put 2 cards, choose a product from your order zone and operate. You may only use Divine Skill a total of once per fight among all your cards. So our first look in terms of what the Divine Skill is actually doing. So before we actually go into the Divine Skill, let's compare a little bit of this Welstra to the OG Welstra. The usual operate skill, it's still there, but of course this operate skill is a little bit more expensive because the OG version doesn't really cost anything, but this Welstra does cost 2 energy, which is not going to be a big problem because every single turn you will be getting like 3 energy anyway. So by costing 2 energy is literally nothing, meaning that you will be gaining 1 energy every single turn as turn goes by. The other thing that is a little bit bit different is that this Welstra directly gains the 10k power upon attacking, which I think is a slightly lower power to what the OG Welstra could do. The OG Welstra could gain more than 10k the more times you operate. So it's kind of a nerf or kind of a buff, depends on how you look at it, because most of the operate skills does cost quite heavily, and with more operate skill you are activating, the resources that you are spending is just gonna stack like really quickly. So it's basically a nerf or a buff, depends on how you look at it. So as for the divine skill, it basically helps to accelerate friendship maximum as well as, you know, the satellite order that we will be talking later to the order zone is just very nice, because as we all know, you are not able to, you know, set the friendship maximum from your hand to the order zone because it has a restriction that specifically says that. And of course, not only is the divine skill allowing you to directly set 2 product orders to the order zone, it basically allows for 1 free product operate, I would say, which could be really disgusting. I'm not gonna lie. Depends on what product you operate. It might take a little bit more playtest as well as experience with the deck to understand what product to operate depending on what the game state is. You might normally just go for friendship maximum to get the retire as well as minus 5k to the opponent, but the satellite isn't really that bad of product to operate, but we'll get into that just a little bit. It's not really that bad, but at the same time, it might be limited on the times that you are able to kind of operate, because as you already know by now, as from the experience of the OG Welstra, you are kind of limited on the number of times that you can operate, because on top of this unit's divine skill and the first skill, you are able to operate 2 times from this unit's skill. You could possibly operate up to 3 times from other unit skill, but then again, that is going to be costing you quite a bit of resources. But again, based on what we see so far, this whole deck doesn't really use like soul or counterblast. I guess it's okay because most of your resources are just gonna dump to the rest of your support that Welstra have access to. But then again, if you're not too careful, you might just run out of resources really quickly. A really nice change, and the divine skill isn't really that broken. It basically helps the deck function a bit more efficiently than normal. It's a really good card, not gonna lie. For the new product that is a satellite for Welstra, Extreme Satellite Weaponry Euryanthe. Although when this unit is put on order zone, if you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Welstra in its card name, draw a card and energy charge 3. Second skill, operate auto order zone. When this card is operated during your battle phase by the ability of a Vanguard with Welstra in its card name with divine skill, if this card was not put into your order zone this turn, choose one of your opponent's rearguard, retire it. Choose one of your opponent's Vanguard until the end of turn, it gets power minus 10k, and if your opponent's damage zone has 4 or less card, deal 1 damage. It's a mouthful, but I'm not gonna lie, I am very hyped for this product. It's a freaking satellite. You are able to draw 1 as well as energy charge 3 is just super nice with the divine skill, because basically you're counterblasting 1 to draw a card as well as energy charge from the divine skill. It's a very nice combo, because from the grade 2 skill, you are basically soul blasting 1 and discard a card to get 2 product order cards, and with the divine skill, you can just straight put those 2 cards to the order zone, and this card does kind of draws you a card, which means that you don't really gain anything from it, but at the same time, it basically allows you to kind of draw more times to hopefully get the key pieces that you are looking for. And of course, energy charge 3 is just very good. It basically opens up the option for you to run a slightly more energy costing support that the whole nation is getting. The operate skill is kind of restricted to only be operate by divine Welstra from turn 4, I think, because during turn 3 is where you put this card to the order zone, and because of how this operate skill works, you can't really activate the skill because of its restriction. And the fact that this unit can only be operated by a Welstra with divine skill is just brutal. I'm really sorry, OG Welstra, but with this in the mix, I don't think there's really a point to run the OG Welstra. It's just too much. Similar to maximum, you are able to retire as well as reduce base power, but maximum is just 5k per operate, and this one is minus 10k per operate. It's just disgusting, and it might just, you know, force the opponent to be at 5 damage really early on. Depends on if you are able to put this unit into the order zone earlier, but then again, I highly doubt you are able to do so. Dealing damage is just icing on the cake, and with the power dropping like no tomorrow, honestly, this is really disgusting. But then again, of course, this card can only be operated by Welstra, meaning that the rearguard that has operate cannot operate this card. You are basically just back to operating Frankshot maximum. So it is what it is, I guess, and it's kind of a way to kind of balance out the whole mechanic just a little bit. But then again, why? The last of the support card that Welstra will receive, of course, this is not the end. There's still another one that will be revealed, I think, in another 2 weeks. Blitz customer support, Kurde. Continuous rearguard circle. During the battle, this unit boosted. If you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Welstra in its card name, this unit gets 5k power. Second skill, auto rearguard circle. When this unit boosts a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Welstra in its card name, energy charge 1. This is basically like a 13k booster from turn 3 onwards, because you for sure will be at Welstra Vanguard on turn 3 unless there's something going on that I don't know. But for sure you will be at Welstra on turn 3, which makes this a 13k booster. This card, of course, will be Welstra's personal booster because she's only able to boost a Welstra Vanguard to even get the energy charge 1. I mean, it doesn't really stop you from calling this card out to the rearguard circle to boost the rearguard, but if you want the energy charge 3, you can only call it behind Welstra. It is what it is, but by getting a 1 energy is just really valuable, I think. However, of course, there's really not much energy cost skill for now. The only thing that basically energy charge is Welstra, the cycle card, as well as the grade 2 Rideline. That's it. Other than that, there's really nothing much that is costing a lot of energy. So once again, it might take a little bit of playtesting to better understand when and what skill needs to be activated at what point. That's basically it. And that is all for this video. Do let me know down in the comment section of what you think of the whole retrain Welstra with the divine skill. It's pretty sad that the OG Welstra kind of get faded obscurity because of the whole restriction going on with this Welstra. But then again, not all is lost because the existing support for Welstra is still usable inside this deck, and I think it is going to be more pivotal than ever to play those support inside Welstra with divine skill. Do like and subscribe if you like this video, and of course ring the bell notification icon so that you don't miss a video I upload. With that being said, I'll see you all on the field.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go.